Welcome, Algebra 2. This is rational expressions. The essential question is, how is dividing rational expressions similar to multiplying rational expressions? Let's begin. So a review of simplifying rational expressions from last week. We want to factor when possible on the top and bottom, and then cancel factors that match on top and bottom. We called this cancel. So they have to match on top and bottom. So on the bottom right here, tops can't be factored. The bottom, we can factor out a 7n. So I'm going to rewrite this fraction as 14n squared times 7n times the quantity 7n minus 2. Now what cancels out here or reduces? Well, one of these n's cancels out. So this becomes n to the 1. And this n goes away. And 7 and 14 can both reduce by 7. This will be 2 and this is 1. So all you're left with is 2n on top and 7n minus 2 on the bottom. All right. So let's do another review in this case before I wanted to factor on the top again. And what two factors multiply to 6 and add to 5? That's going to be k plus 3 times k plus 2. On the bottom, we can factor out a 5k. So I'm going to do 5k times k plus 2. We say, what cancels on the top and bottom? This k plus 2. So all you're left with is k plus 3 over 5k. And there's your answer. Now, when you're multiplying rational expressions, we want to factor when possible, and then we want to cancel out factors that match on the top and bottom, but you can also go across fractions. So when it's multiplied, just treat it as like one big fraction. I can put a bar between those. In this case, everything's already factored, and I'm going to put parentheses around these. And I say, well, what matches on top and bottom? Well, these 6's cancel each other out, top and bottom. And this x plus 7, even though those are on different fractions, it's okay. So all you're left with is x plus 3 on top and x minus 5 on bottom. So there's your reduced rational expression. And if I did another case right here, I try to factor. In this case, everything's already factored. So I'm going to combine that to one big fraction right here. What cancels? Well, this x plus 10. And then 5's cancel, and x squared cancel. So all I'm left with is x plus 2 over x minus 7. And there's my answer. Let's do one more. Actually, I'm going to skip it. We've done a lot. Now, if you want to divide rational expressions, dividing is multiplying by the reciprocal. So if I was doing numbers, 5, 6 divided by 1/2, instead of dividing by 1/2, I'm going to change this to multiplying by the reciprocal. Reciprocal means you flip it, the numerator and denominator. So flipping this to multiply, so this becomes 5, 6 times 2 over 1. And so you multiply the top, 5 times 2 is 10, and 6 times 1 is 6. Which reduces, dividing by 5 on top and bottom, or 2, becomes 5/3. On the bottom fraction you're dividing, again, I'm going to flip the 17/6. So we're going to get 3/4, and you only flip in the right side, times 6 over 17, which will leave you 3 times 6 is, so first thing before I multiply out, sometimes I'll try to reduce things. And the 4 and 6 both divide by 2 from the top and bottom, so this becomes 3. And this becomes 2. Nothing else. You can't cancel 2 3's on the top. It has to be a top and a bottom. So 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 7 is 34. So 9 34ths. Now, dividing rational expressions is very similar to what we did with multiplying. We flip. It's like multiplying by the reciprocal. So flip this, then factor out and cancel factors on top and bottom, just like multiplying. So I'm going to flip these two. So I get 5 divided by x minus 10. And it's going to be times x plus 1 times x minus 10 over x minus 3 times x plus 1. Now let's cancel things out. X minus 10's cancel, x plus 1's cancel. All we're left with is 5 over x minus 3. Try another example in this case. It's already factored. I'm going to flip this. So what you're left with is 20 times x minus 3 over 10. Times 7x over 8 times x minus 3. And I'm going to cancel and reduce things. X minus 3's, they're matching and they're gone. 20 and 10, both these divide by 10, so you're left with 1 here and left with 2 here. Also, 2 and 8 both reduced by 2, so you're left with 4, and this just turns into 1. Nothing else reduces, so you're left with 7x on top over 4. And that's your answer. In this case here, so I'm going to flip first. And then we're actually going to have to factor next. The wheel stoppers might be on. You might have to flip them up. So if I'm flipping this, I'm going to be 9a minus 36 over a minus 7 times 1 over a squared minus 6a plus 8. I'm going to factor the bottom of the left fraction, so it'll be 1 over multiplies to 8, adds to negative 6 will be a minus 4 times a minus 2. On the right side, you can factor out 9a minus 36. You can factor out 9. It becomes a minus 4. And you're left with a minus 7 on the bottom. So what cancels here? Well, this is a minus 4. And that's it. So I'm left with 9 over a minus 2 times a minus 7. I'm going to leave it just like that. It's good enough. All right, that's it.